Hey there, Michael McBride here from ripped411.com, and welcome back to Instagram Bootcamp Day 2. And today is all about YOU. I am joined by my trusty assistant, Binks, who is sitting behind me as always. Say hi, Binks. Okay, good. She's over it now. I've got a lot of great material that we're going to cover. I've got some book recommendations as well, and we're really going to walk through step by step how to set up your Instagram so it really reflects you. And at the end of this process, you will have a killer bio, a profile picture, and a link that is going to really help people connect to you. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about, and this is really the majority of it, is if Instagram is supposed to be all about you and what you're doing in your life, then we need to really be clear about who you are. So I wanted to first share with you this chart that comes from Sally Hogshead's book, How to Fascinate. And it's this brilliant book. I have the link in the comments below. But she's created this chart of these 49 personality archetypes. And you can see across the top and across the left side, they're the same and they match together in different combinations. So we all are different, and we all kind of fit in with these different ideas. So the first one is innovation. You change the game with creativity. The second one is passion. You connect with emotion. Third is power. You lead with command. The fourth is prestige. You earn respect with higher standards. Next is trust. You build loyalty with consistency. Next is mystique. You communicate with substance. And finally is alert. You prevent problems with care. And you can actually take your primary and your secondary area that you feel like you really resonate with and connect them together. For example, if it's passion and prestige, then you would be the talent, who is expressive, stylish, emotionally intelligent, for example. So you can actually go to her website, howtofascinate.com, and take a little test for free. She'll probably grab your email to get your own F score and find out some really cool things about yourself. So the next activity that we're going to be doing is creating a same different list. Now, for those of you who have gone through social media training before, you may have done this already, and this is a perfect opportunity to update that. So what I'd like for you to do, I'm going to walk you through it right now really quickly, and it's up to you to pause the video and make your own time to do this. But just take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle of it, and then make a column that says same and a column that says different. And what you're going to do is set a timer, take 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and start by brainstorming all of the ways that you think you are the same with everybody else who's in the same field as you. Many of us are online health and fitness coaches, and there are also people from other communities here as well. So think of all of the ways that you think you're similar to other people. And then take 5 minutes and brainstorm all of the ways that you feel like you are different from everybody else or most people else in your field. This is going to be a critical document that we will be working with as we go forward. So we will be building on this. Once you have that done, we're going to be combining all of these ideas together into creating what we call an avatar. And we have this sample. This is by Katie Hefner, where she actually used PicMonkey at picmonkey.com to create this really slick picture. But what she did was she, number one, made a list of characteristics of who is the ideal person that you want to be working with, that you want to attract toward yourself. Make a list of their qualities. How old are they? Are they single or married? Do they have kids? What movies do they like to see? Personality, are they shy, outgoing? Just get as specific as possible. And find a picture, create a visual of what this person looks like. And as kind of silly as that might feel at this moment, it's going to be super important as you are expanding your market and finding other people that are going to be resonating with the message that you have. And it needs to be visual. Like, you need to know what they look like. Okay, that's going to be critical. And then make sure that you have this document present with you. You look at it every single day so that you know what you're looking like. One of the stories that I tell my students all the time at the universities where I teach is there have been these studies where psychologists, Gestalt psychologists, have gotten together and they've done these studies about how we recognize the world around us. And they came up with this finding that seems like it's complete common sense, but it's amazing how much common sense is not always common practice. And that what they discovered was it's easier to find something if you know what you're looking for. So consider the example of, let's say I walk into the kitchen and I open the silverware drawer and I know that I need something pointy. I don't know, like maybe it has like little prongs. No, I think it's got more of a bowl shape, or maybe it's kind of long and skinny, but I know I need something in this drawer. So I just kind of rifle through it and pick up some things, and maybe there's tongs in there. And I spend forever there, not really getting what I need. However, if I have a mental picture of a fork and I know exactly what that fork looks like, when I open that drawer, I'm going to see, boom, there are all my forks, and I reach in and grab it. So that's exactly what you're doing with creating your avatar. You need to know what your person, your ideal community looks like so that when you see it, boom, you recognize them and they're going to be there for you. At the bottom of the document, go ahead and list all of the specific things and qualities about this avatar. You can, here's the little pro tip, that different list that you had, your avatar is probably going to be sharing a lot of these things. The idea is that this whole thing is like walking into a hall of mirrors. If you look at yourself and what you like and what you hate, those are the kinds of people that you typically want to be around, that you feel comfortable with, because they reflect those same qualities and values that you have. So start from that, start from who you are, and then maybe kind of flesh that out into seeing specifically who this person is. So that's creating your avatar. So one of the biggest things that we talked about I see today, and one of the biggest frustrations that a lot of people have is that they are frustrated that they're not getting engagement on their photos. And I wanted to talk about this now because it's actually really all about you. So I want to show you, first of all, two pictures that I pulled off of Instagram, and we'll compare them. So here's the first one. It's a beautiful meme, very inspiring. It has colors that pop. It's very clear, and it just makes you feel really good. There's some good content here. And I don't know about you, but I know when I was first starting out, when I would spend a lot of time and being really thoughtful and creative about my content, and I would post it, and then it would get like 4 likes, I'd be like, what the hell? What's going on? This is good stuff. Why don't people engage with this? So this is kind of an example of what that could be. So this is the first example. And here is the second example, where we have a selfie directly into the bathroom mirror of some pregnant lady. So I want you to guess which one got better engagement. And of course, I'm sure you all know the trick that's about to happen. Well, this picture had about, I think it was 13 likes. And this picture had 1.1 million likes. What's the difference? It seems like this picture is a lot higher quality content, whereas this picture is, it's not a great photo, even from an aesthetic perspective. Well, the difference is this is Kim Kardashian West. And she has developed momentum where people know who she is, they know her brand, her style, and she could literally cover the lens of her phone, and I'm sure she could post like a completely black photo and it would get, probably picked up on BuzzFeed. She could be like on Twitter saying, I ate cereal this morning, and there would be 4,000 shares and 600 comments saying, oh my gosh, I love cereal. So what's the difference between Kim and somebody else who maybe is super thoughtful? Well, the difference is she's a celebrity and she has brought her audience over, and she has momentum that's been developing so that people are following everything that she does. Now, do you need to be a celebrity to be successful at Instagram? I do not think so. As we saw in the Rolling Stone article with the 100 best Instagrams, some people were celebrities and some people actually grew their Instagram organically from it, just because they were so unique and they were really focused and in their niche. So while it might be nice to have the numbers of Taylor Swift so that when you post a cat photo, you get 68,000 likes within the first 2 minutes. In reality, you don't need that many people to be successful in your business. Now, of course, the more eyes that see your posts, the better the better chances are that there's going to be somebody who resonates with it. But I don't want you to feel like Instagram is completely meaningless for you unless you have 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers. While I was building this year, I started around a little under 2K. And, once I started putting into practice some of these techniques that we're talking about, I was getting really high quality people coming to me and asking me questions about fitness, coming over to my Facebook. And I've made thousands and thousands of dollars from my business because of my interaction on Instagram. So it's possible. Okay, so let's talk about how to get engagement. The first thing that we want to consider is branding. Are you branding as a person or as a business? Now, this has nothing to do with whether or not you're selling something or if you're just using Instagram to kind of have fun or stroke your ego. This is actually completely separate. You could be selling something. You could be having a business, and you could brand yourself as either a person or a business. Personally, I've decided to brand myself as a person on Instagram rather than a business, even though I have a business, and Instagram has been a huge part of that business and very lucrative. The reason for me is that I found in general, most people use social media in general not to find products, but to find people, to find connection. And the businesses that are out there that do really well do a great job of establishing relationship and connection. And for me, I just decided that I wanted to be myself and really authentic and really brand myself rather than the products that I'm selling. So decide what you want, person or business. Now there are wonderful business pages as well, and I know Chalene Johnson really specializes on that. There are a couple differences that you might notice. For example, business pages, typically it's about one thing, and personal pages tend to have a little bit more variety, maybe like 3, 4, or 5 things that you post about. For me personally, it's music, muscles, and motivation. My 3 M's, Michael McBride. So that's one thing that I want you to be considering. One of the best books that's helped me to think through all this is this one, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. I highly recommend it. Check it out. And the next thing that I wanted to show you is a little video clip. Now this is, here we go, let me find it. Can you share desktop 2? There we go. Okay. There we go. This is actually from a show that only ran for about 7 episodes on ABC called Selfie. And essentially it was just a retake on My Fair Lady or Pygmalion, that classic story, but in modern context with this girl who is self-absorbed in her social media. And she meets with the Henry Higgins character and asks him to help reform her into, a way to kind of be well, in her words, she wanted to connect better with the people who was following her. So here is a clip of his first lesson with her.
Every day you greet Eliza, do you not? I sure do. I check in with everybody. And in the entire time that you've worked here, has Eliza ever once asked how you are doing? You know the first thing about this woman? Do you even know her name? Shamanique. Like Monique, but with a sharp.
Okay, but in my defense, that's not a real name.
Lesson number 1. Each and every morning as you pass by Shamanique's desk, I want you to ask how she's doing.
Hilt, Cleo, Dunzo.
Let's start now.
Okay.
Open your lips and repeat after me. How are you? How are you?
How are you? Good.
I love that. Okay, transition here. Okay. I wish that show lasted longer. There's actually another story where are we? Another story in the show that just tickled me. So she is talking to the guy who's trying to reform her, and she says something like, I really need to improve my personal brand. And he looks at her and he says, do you mean be a better person? And she's like, oh, yeah, that. And that's really what this all comes down to. How are you presenting yourself on social media? So that's what I wanted to talk about here. Are you into yourself, or are you really investing in other people? So I want you to think about, who are the people in your life that you love spending time with, that you're like, man, I can't wait to see my friend because they are so this. I don't know, they're funny, they're encouraging, they're a great listener. They come with really interesting facts, or they always have a great story. Like, what is it that you just love about them? Those are the same things that work on social media. Remember, social media is, you're not talking to a computer, you're literally talking to people. So, think about those things and be those things. And that really gets to this next idea, which is the law of reciprocation. And that's that golden rule of, if you do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So if you want more engagement with other people, then go out and engage. If you want more love, then you need to give more love. If you want more attention, you need to give more attention. Whatever you put out is what's going to come back. And if you are just sitting there pouting, saying, nobody likes my post, well, what are you doing? Are you liking other people's posts? Are you encouraging? Are you reaching out and really being the kind of person that you want to attract towards yourself? So keep that in mind, the law of reciprocation. Now, as you think about your posts, it's really all about quality over quantity. We're going to talk about post frequency in the next couple days, but it's important to be very thoughtful about your posts. You want them to look great, you want them to have a point, and to really reflect you. Now, my next point might come across as a little harsh, but it's here for a reason. Don't be a stuck-up asshole. I don't know how many profiles I look and I see people who are just, it is clear that they love themselves. And I'm all about loving myself. That's great. But it is like to the point where nobody else matters, and they're always kind of bitching about something. They have a chip on their shoulder. It's always this comparison between them and other people. It's not the kind of person that you want to be around. And I think a lot of times we can come across like a stuck-up asshole unintentionally on social media, just because we don't know better. Like, we don't know that it's good to go out to other people's profiles and encourage them and like it and comment and ask them questions and engage. Just really kind of remove all of the technology and think about, what would you do? What would you say? How would you feel if you're sitting right across from this person at Starbucks? You're just having a conversation. So don't be a stuck-up asshole. So to that end, to help us develop that sensitivity of when we're being stuck-up assholes or when we're actually being kind and generous, I wanted to share with you an idea that I've been working with for a while, and it has been a huge blessing in my life, and that is what I call great journaling. And GREAT's an acronym that stands for grateful, relieved, excited, attractive, and totally loving. These are the 5 energies that, as you connect to them in your life, of what's happening in your life, you are going to be exuding this magnetic quality that other people are going to be attracted to. And what I did was I went to Target and I bought a $7 Moleskine little notebook. And I literally just sit down in the morning as part of my personal development and just write out my great list. Sometimes, I'm writing a lot and I feel really like there's a lot of flow. And then other times it's kind of hard to get the flow going. And I kind of use that as like my thermometer to let me know how connected to my soul and my spirit I am in that moment. We all get really busy. We all feel distracted and we're not in the moment. And this is like such an amazing way of giving us a little test to see, how in the moment and how present are we. And if we're not, then this is a great way to get back to that. So I encourage you to start a great journal yourself and see what happens. Do it through the whole Instagram bootcamp, and I promise you, you're going to be absolutely amazed with what happens. A couple books that were really influential for me to this end as well. The first one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is one of those books that my dad told me all about when I was a kid, and I was like, self-help books? I don't like that. That's for losers. And then years later, I broke down. I was like, okay, what's this book about? And I got into it, and first of all, I was surprised how easy it was to read. Easy language and very relevant. And second of all, it really brought together some ideas in a way that made a lot of sense. So I encourage you to check this book out if you've not. And the second book is another book by Gary Vaynerchuk, who's the author of Jab, 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 Right Hook. And that's The Thank You Economy. This is a book that essentially talks about how to be cool, how to provide customer service in the digital age. And essentially, he says that we went from the old mom and pop stores of 50, 60 years ago with the customer service, and we've come full circle to people just craving that kind of boutique, personal customer service. And this shows you all about how to do that. Okay, now to get to the nuts and bolts of your creating your bio. So I've shared a link to one of the best documents that I've come across, and this is from Chelsea Pearson. Many of you know her. I love her dearly. She's such a beautiful human being. She put together this incredible document that shows all of the apps that you can use, how to think about what to put in your bio, and how to format it so it looks really cool. So all of this is in the Instagram Bio Tricks. Now, the website that's right here, instagrambiotricks.com, is no longer in service. However, I have found it on Scribd, which is the link that I've posted below. And I'm hoping that works for you. I think you might have to sign in to it to gain access to it. So this is going to be the step-by-step instructions of how you're going to create your bio and really polish it. Now, I do want to talk about the profile picture that you have. Make sure that it is of you, that it is bright, and that it is of your face. As you are scanning through other people's profiles, if it is of their cat, if it is dark, if it is of a tree, you have no idea who these people are. If it is like them with a bunch of friends, you don't know who they are. So for your profile picture, it needs to be of you, kind of a close-up of your face, smiling. Make sure that it's bright, that it's happy, it's fun, and it's engaging, so that when people check you out, they'll be like, she seems like a pretty cool girl. He seems like a pretty cool guy. I will say a couple things about bio that are kind of a summary of what Chelsea had in her document. And this is the part where we're really going to have to workshop as we kind of check our bios to see like, hey, does this work? Or is there something else that we need to do? So a good bio is specific. A bad bio is general. A good bio is clever. There's some cool turn of phrase. A bad bio is boring. A good bio is eye-catching, like the way that the text is laid out is eye-catching. And the bad bio looks like it's just this one run-on sentence that just wraps around. Really hard to read. The good bio uses your different list. There it is. A bad bio uses your same list. For example, if you say health and fitness coach, okay, what's going to set you apart? But if you say, I am victorious over COPD and I have lost 35 pounds, or I love, cooking vegan, food, those are things that are specific about you. And then finally, a good bio is connected to what your page is about. And then a bad bio has no connection. It's just random. Here's just an example of my bio as it is right now. As you can see, I have some emojis. It's in column format. And then I also have, at the bottom, we have our link. Now, right now, my link is set to this Instagram Bootcamp because I was just advertising that. But in general, I've had it as my Facebook profile. Now, I do want to say that with your link, for those of you who are Beachbody coaches or if you're selling a product, be really careful with putting just your product link or your coach link up in that place, especially if you're just starting out, because it comes across really spammy. And I know when I see that on other people's profiles, I keep scrolling. So really the better idea is to use a way for people to get to know you better. And for most people, that is to link back over to your Facebook. Here is the critical link. You need to give an invitation to follow you on Facebook. Right here I have these down arrows, IG Bootcamp info. What I normally say is, want to be fit friends, follow me on Facebook down here. But it is critical that you actually give an invitation to follow you. If that's not there, it's weird. Like, people don't do it. So make sure that you have an invitation to follow you. Okay, and lastly, you need to make your account public. Now, I know a lot of people who have like pictures of their kids or really personal stuff are really wary about that. And what I would say to that is, first of all, here's a story. So there was this town and it was filled. This is like the main street and there's store after store. And there's this one store that had a sign on the front door that said, "Yes, we're open." And I went to it and I tried to pull on the door and it was locked. And I looked in and like all the lights were off, but the sign said, "Yes, we're open." And I was really confused. And there's another store kind of like it right across the street, so I just walked away. That is the equivalent of having a closed Instagram profile. It's basically saying, yes, I'm open, but I really need you to knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and I'll come and unlock it for you. It doesn't work, especially if you're really trying to grow your Instagram. So if you're super protective about some specific pictures, either take them off Instagram or create a separate profile for friends and family or whatever. But this is something that needs to be public. Okay, so that is the content for your activities. Of course, you're watching this video, you need to make your same different list. You need to create your avatar, like literally create it. Either do it by hand or a computer program. Find a picture of who that person is. Please read through the Chelsea Pearson's Instagram bio tricks. And then once you've designed your bio, I want you to take a screenshot of it and put it in the comments below. We'll all be able to check that out. Now, there are almost 200 people in this group right now, and I cannot go back and forth with every single person and saying, like, you need to tweak this, you need to fix that. I need your help with this. If you have followed these steps, your bio should rock. But if you don't follow these steps, then there's going to be some missing pieces. So please scan each other's bio and comment on each other's and say if you think you would be drawn to somebody with that bio. Maybe even pick out specific reasons. I love that you said that you're really into being an ultra marathoner, or I love horror movies. Like, that's specific. And if there's something that you think doesn't work in a bio, then go ahead and comment on their post. Just hit reply, and so you can comment directly on it, so that you can say, hey, I wasn't quite clear about what you meant here, or you forgot your invitation to follow you somewhere. So if you could do that, that would be frickin' amazing. I'll do as much as I can, and we'll work on that all together. And then finally, make sure that your account is public. And I also will include just a summary of the book recommendations that I had for this video. So that is it for day 2. Whew. You can do this, and I can't wait to see all of your posts. Have a great day.